God bless you. So tutenda moja kwa moja ili tuweze kuzungumza. We get to understand the challenges we go through as leaders. We get to know where we are. Tuweze kutafuta solutions, right? So karibuni sana. Hamjachangamka? Mmechangamka? Yes, we would rather be, because change belongs to us. Sisi ndio tuta make the changes. So karibuni, you can follow us live through Nyarari TV, M-Cusa as well on Facebook, pale YouTube, Nyarari TV, na tutaingia moja kwa moja. Been on a Saturday of 27th July 2024 as we start our interviews now. Thank you so much also, Sportsview Kasarani, for having us. Now we have Dorcas Kagendo, as Mr. Nick introduced them, and President Chris Maina. Karibuni sana. So sijui kama we have to, is it on? Okay, thank you so much. As we start, na najua we'll have a very engaging moment. We'll have also questions coming from you. We have another segment where we'll have leaders also, a panel of them. We'll have a panelist. We get to ask questions. So this is your platform. Feel at home. Ile swali uko nayo, ask, let us engage, and we find solutions. Karibuni sana, we'll start with you. Thank you. Grace, karibu. Let's start by knowing who is Grace. Your journey in leadership, how it has been, na tutaenda sasa. Karibu sana.
Thank you, and I greet you all again. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon too.
Yes, my name is Grace Maina, and this lady has come a long journey of leadership. I'm born and brought up in Nyandarua County, Ndaragwa constituency, Ndaragwa Central Ward, and that's where I was born and schooled my primary school. Then thereafter went to Meru in Kieni High School, just below Chogoria Girls, and that's where I did my Form 1 to Form 4, and that's where actually my leadership began in primary school. I was the prefect since class 6,
Wow.
class 7, class 8 became the head girl, and when I transited to high school, I again became the school dormitory captain in Form 2. Then Form 3, the dormitory captain again. Form 4, the dormitory captain, and also the school captain. And it has not been an easy journey, because when we get leaders, or what made me be the head girl, the captain, was maybe out of how life had shown me. I am a firstborn in a family of 3 girls, and being a firstborn put me in a position where I was to be responsible, and not actually at that young age looking at my siblings, looking at me as a role model, but the position I was in as a firstborn, that's where leadership actually was instilled in me, where I had to come out of school, cook. Unfortunately, my mom was a bit sick. She had epilepsy all along, and it put her in a condition where she wouldn't do the chores of a mother regularly. So I had to step in as a mom and help at that age. And you know, coming from school, I know what to cook. I wash our uniforms. In the morning, I wake my sisters up. That life. So when I transited to high school, which was a God intervention, because I had to get a well-wisher to take me to high school because of the home ground. Then I was so focused when I entered the gates of Kieni High School. I told myself, oh my goodness, this is a boarding school. I always had that notion of being in a boarding school. You are in a big school. It doesn't matter the level of the school, but it's a boarding school.
Oh yes.
And I was like, wow, now this is where I'm making my dream come true. And I got in that school, very vulnerable, but not vulnerable upstairs. I joined high school actually in second term, second week. And I managed to be a position 2, then position 1, and the school could look at me as an example. an inspiration to others. They only be pointed at, you know, Grace came in second term and she has defeated you, and that's how leadership again now grew.
Okay.
I could lead, I could be seen as, oh, one who can do this on behalf of the students, and it came up to campus level.
Okay,
Yes.
wow, what an amazing journey. Thank you so much, Grace. We'll come back to you. Karibu sana, amazing Dorcas. Briefly, your journey, your leadership journey, where it began, so that you can move to now the leadership.
Of 4, but I was the firstborn daughter as well. And I would say that my childhood really shaped my leadership character as well, because I remember by that time, when I was that young girl, my mom and dad had separated kinda, and my father was at home, but then he was working in a faraway town, and my mom was also in a different town, and so most of the time we could be left with my grandma, though she was really an amazing woman. And I would say that my journey really began when I was in primary, because I remember when I was in like grade 3, I was a class prefect, and I walked in all along until I was in grade 8, where I was the school captain per se. And then after the class 8, I joined high school. When I joined high school, first term, I wasn't a prefect. And like in second term, there is this teacher who was the head of curriculum, and she approached me and she was like, "Dorcas, how are you?" And I was like, "I'm good." And she told me, "I went through your records, because I know when you're getting admitted to school, there's a record that you fill showing your school, what you're doing." And she was like, "This record shows you are class prefect, and so you cannot evade this." And so I tried evading it, but unfortunately it didn't happen.
Okay.
So I became a class prefect in second term of my Form 1. So from Form 1 I was the class prefect, Form 2 I was dormitory prefect, then Form 3 I was the DH captain, then Form 4 I was the head girl. And I successfully completed my education being the head girl before joining university. And one thing that I would say, when I was that young girl, I admired the great people I could see in leadership. When I was that young in primary, I remember there's a time Mother Karua, Honorable Mother Karua, came to my very market. And when I saw her, I really felt, this woman is really strong. And I was like, being that young girl, when I grow up, I want to be this woman. And again, when I was in high school, I had a lot of big things in the university. And now my dream was, even when I was joining Form 1, I really want to go to the university and really see what goes in there. Because I've had everybody who goes there becomes great. And so I really wanted to become great. Yeah, so I'd say that's my journey briefly.
Wow, asanteni sana. Tuwapigie makofi, please. But being young leaders, and especially being women, I know you have faced a lot of challenges. I know you've faced a lot of challenges, being a beautiful lady and being a beautiful lady as well. So what are these challenges? How did you overcome them? Let us engage. Manake, the people that we have watching us, those people that are watching us live from location, I know most of them are leaders. They are those that who want to be leaders. And they find themselves as well as going through these challenges. So what are these challenges that you went through and how you overcame them? Ask Grace.
Thank you. You have asked the right question to the right person at the right time.
Apart hizo za kuzaliwa pale ushago, eh?
Yes.
Yes.
I would answer that question with my own position as a leader, how it came to be, and I felt, wow, it is not really easy to be a woman leader. And this was in campus. I was vying for presidency.
Which campus?
Machakos University.
Machakos.
Yes, in third year. I was in third year. I was now vying for presidency. You see, they are all looking at me as, president? Yes, I was vying for presidency. And having previously launched a book, I'm an author.
Wow.
Having previously launched a book in the same university in a very big event, and people were like, how did I manage to do all that?
And what's the name of the book?
The Unspoken.
The
It's about
Unspoken.
my life story. It's a masterpiece memoir.
Okay.
everyone had this in mind, like, where this is the real deal. She can really do it. And so we did siasa, mnajua siasa za campus, delegate system, tukapanga delegate vizuri, and everyone knew that Gracie nayo imeenda. Hey, opponent ni nani? So opponent had been in the previous government. And no, he knew these things than me, you know. When you have been in the system, you know, I can do this and that at the end time, and this thing is done. I have it. And that's what happened. I didn't find my name in the ballot in the following morning.
Oh, on elections day?
Yes,
Oh
my name was not in the ballot. And I called the ICM chair, the dean of students, asking why and how it happened. And they were like, apana, small excuses. I cried and cried and felt very inferior, very inferior. And I said, I will never get into politics again. Staki hizi masiasa, hata ni za bure, nimeinvest, staki takataka hizi. And I quit kabisa. But come next election, now, and I continued with this. So delegates are the ones who get into contact with the 111 votes. Okay? So now you get the delegate who seems to be the who is who in that school. So the delegates knew that actually people had withdrawn. Presidential candidates had withdrawn. They knew they had tried to approach me, Grace, be my vice president, and I'm like, no, tupatane kwa debe, I also want that presidency. So actually some of them took deputies the very last day. And we were left three of us, now presidential candidates, who they knew one was inferior, would not have made it. Now it was a battle between me and my opponent. And it is the gentleman who had been in the previous government. It was really tough.
Okay.
So I had it in mind because he had texted me something suspicious, now the opponent. And he told me, whatever will happen, maybe you'll consider us having a table even after whatever will happen. I was like, what will happen? I'm going to win. Which table are you talking about? I did not read between the lines. And I think it was done not to the delegates, but through the leaders, you know, the ICM and whatever. So the delegate wouldn't have anything to do. And lastly, they were the two of them now on the ballot.
Okay.
So what happened was Grace cried. I cried. I closed myself in the room for 3-4 days, asking myself why I indulged in such things. I cannot do with these men. You know, they are all over. Women cannot lead this university and such. But now the following election, I also felt I don't want to do anything with the elections. Let them vote whoever they are voting in. I don't even want to know the delegates. But Fununu came to me that, Grace, Fulani wants the presidency and he's saying, or people are supporting him to have you as the deputy president. And I was like, why? Who? I don't even want, I'm not interested.
You had given up.
Yes, he had not even approached me, so those are fake rumors. I kept listening to the rumors. Rumors. I have not even seen this guy. I don't know who, because I'm not interested in who is vying for the president. And final days, people started chatting me, hi, Madam President, how? Where, Madam President, what? And I'm like, stop mocking me. I vied for presidency, yes, I failed, so stop calling me Madam President here. And they told me, you have not had something. What something? Something is cooking. You're going to be the Madam President.
Okay.
I did not believe it, and I got it.
Wow. Congratulations.
Thank you. Now the challenge was how to cope with the position. I was bullied. One morning I just woke up and I find myself trending.
Online?
Yes, online. The school platforms, I'm trending for the reason I do not know which. So the reason was there were other girls who wanted the position and had really done something to fight for it, while I didn't do anything
Something
much.
or other things. You know, there's a...
Yes, those other
They had
things.
done
Yes,
other things,
yes, they had done other things to earn the position. But here I was, rightfully earning it from, people saying she would be the best person for that position. And I won it. So their boyfriends and themselves and their people and their followers started bullying me. She has written a book, it has no content. She is what? I asked myself, what have I gone into now again? I said I won't get into politics now. What is this? I trended for 2 weeks. It was a very big case, went to the DCI and such. But I really felt how leaders right now, like we have women in big positions, feel when they just wake up and there are rumors, oh, she is whoever is whose, she did what it is, she did what. I really felt that. But I did not take it as a big thing, a challenge. That time it was a very big thing for me because I cried. I couldn't leave the house for 2 weeks. Until actually I decided I'll go, because now I noted those who were bullying me. I'll go face them and ask them, why are you asking me? Do you even know me? So I noted one of the students who I knew where I would find him at the student center. I woke up one day, now after the 2 weeks, slept, crying and asking myself what this bullying is taking me where.
Oh, yes.
I went and found the student. I asked him, do you even know me to bully me and say my book? Were you even in school when I was launching the book? He happened to be just a India. So I was launching the book, he was not in school.
Okay.
Do you know political journey? How comes you're there? Grace did not do, she looks like this, she has a forehead, I don't know what.
Na unaisema vizuri, it seems like you're...
Yes, they would have been all over. But the photos there, hey, look at her forehead. She do not even know how to match what and what. Color what. The simple things that would bring you shame.
Oh, yes. Thank you. I want us to pass the mic to Dorcas.
Okay.
But at least you've shared. Ilikuwa ni kuanikwa online. That
Yes,
was
yes. Bullying, total bullying. And it's my first time, so I'm holding it as, oh my God, what am I going to do? Will I even step out to people? How will they see me? Will they even take me as a Madam President again? It was really tough, really tough. And I can start today and encourage a lady who wants to be in a position in leadership. If such things happen, this is how you handle it. So I find it as a builder. It builded me, it gave me a lot of confidence.
Wow.
And I can actually overcome anything. If I find myself trending the whole country today, I'll just face and I'm like, oh, yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Chris. Dorcas, umesikia story ya been in Embu. And I'm also very interested. You're vying for these positions. Kwanza pesa inatoka wapi? Where do you get these sponsors? I mean, for these positions? Because you see, for her case, she was bullied. I think it was revolving around men, right? Okay. So Dorcas, what was your challenge?
Okay.
Or what has been your challenge?
Okay. So I would say first of all, even before I would like to say this: being a woman in leadership, whether you get it the right way or the wrong way, people will have something to say. There'll always something to say. It's either this one does this and this, and so that is something that I've had for quite some time. And so something that I would tell myself all the time is I know what I want and I know who I am. And so I have never kind of be intimidated by anybody. You talk what you want to talk, you say what you want to say. But when I was that young first year, when I was vying for a school rep, there's that fear that comes along. Like, now, will they really elect me? Am I really fit to be here? Like, there are those thoughts that you really fight with as a person.
But feel inferior?
Yeah, sometimes you feel like, am I really fit for this position? Like, you see now you're new to the university. You see in the University of Embu, first years don't vie when you really come. You vie after you've done an exam.
Okay.
So you vie either in second term of the first year or from your second year.
Fresh away.
No, until you have at least done an exam and you've got the results.
Okay.
Either with you or in the examination office. And so you this first year and you really don't know how university works. You really want to see what happens in here. So first of all, I would say what really I battled with as a person was, am I really fit to be in this position? What really happens if you get there? And so I would say first of all, before I give the challenges, to encourage any lady who is here and you feel like you cannot do it, you can really do it. What you need to do as a leader is develop a very thick skin.
Wow.
That whatever comes, whether it's said, it's done, you really don't care. You really act like you really don't know what is happening around you. And something else, believe in yourself. Even if everybody else is just saying you can't do it, just go for it and be strong about it and believe in yourself. And so, briefly, to give a little of the challenges that you battle with in the university, one thing is, as a leader in the university, there are two sides. We have the comrade side and there's the administration side.
Okay.
And so if you're not wise, you'll
Which
get
one
lost.
is the opposition?
Of course, to be very honest, the administration is the opposition.
Okay.
It's the opposition because there is one thing you really want to fight for, the rights of the comrades.
Oh, yes.
Like in our university, we had these kind of, we were fighting to have bursaries. They are called the financial aid in the university. Then again, ulikuwa unapata allowances when people go out either for music festivals, for games, and people are fighting for allowances.
Okay.
And also there is these kind of chain wars that if you've not finished your school fees, you can't do exams, the end of the semester exams. And so you as leaders, you have the manifesto that when I become the president and when I become the school rep, I'll fight for these and these. And so when you get there, nothing is happening. And you see now there's conflict between the school and between the comrades. And you see the comrades are, like in our time when I was in first year, we didn't have the delegate system. The delegate system when I was in like third year, I guess.
Okay.
That is when the system came in. So ours was the block voting, where everybody votes.
Okay.
And so,
Wow.
yeah, and so you are torn in between, because I remember even some of those who came before us, some of them actually were suspended, and others were given the lowers, the class lowers and the pass, because they were leaders and they really advocated for the students. So the biggest challenge in the university is balancing between the school administration and the students, because when you support the administration, you become an enemy of the students.
Oh, yes.
When you support the comrades, you become an enemy of the what?
Administration.
Actually, I would say the problem with us as the leaders and even institutions, it is the system of how we do things. Because we want leaders, yes, but then when they come in, we want them to not to serve the people who elected them. You know very well that these students are for theirs. Mtu ako na balance ya 2,000 school fees and they don't do an exam, and you see the end of the semester exam matters a lot in terms of the grading system. So if you don't do that, it helps me repeat the whole semester, and that is so unfair. So as a leader, I would try fight for that, but you see now, when you try fight for that, at a pass utapata too. So there is really something that should be worked on in that university. Actually, I know it's not Embu alone, and I know it's all over all the universities.
Everywhere.
Yeah, so that's the biggest challenge as a leader, balancing between.
Did you manage to balance? Did you
I would
manage
say
to strike
a
a
little
balance?
bit I did, but in my last year I didn't go for a very big elective post. I went and joined as a, I would say I joined the electoral committee of the university during my very last year of the university, because I felt now if I am not serving the interest of these people, I just felt that I was not very okay. But at the end of the day, very few can manage that, and those who do that, most of them don't even end well in the university. So that's one of the biggest challenges. Then the second challenge is, sometimes as a woman, people look at you and see women in politics as cheap women. I know that's something that we've seen. Those women who are like you don't have morals, you don't have principles, you don't have like anything that you're fighting for. They think you're just there because maybe you want to sleep around with leaders to gain favor and like get the highest positions. That is what people think of you. So there is that notion also as a leader that you should make sure, whether it is said or not, that you really maintain yourself as a person. So that's another kind of how you viewed
From the society.
yeah, from the
societal
society.
view.
Yeah, that's how you viewed. Also from people around, even the other youths, they see you and see a very immoral person who is trying to find a way into the highest positions through sleeping around with leaders so that you gain favors. So that's another challenge as a person that you have to fight with. And as a woman, if you have so low self-esteem, you can never fight with that. At the end of the day, actually, you just leave. Like Grace wanted to leave it. You can easily do that. You can
Okay.
easily give up. That's why I started by telling the ladies who are here, including myself, you should have a thick skin, a very thick one, and brand yourself what you think you are. And so those, I guess, are the main challenges that you have. And so even men think that women are kind of incompetent, like they are kind of like wanabebewa akili. I don't know whether you've heard men say
Oh,
that.
yes, oh,
that,
yes.
That, wanawake wanabebeangwa akili. You see kind of that. They think that we can't soberly think. If a woman can plan a family, plan their husband and the children, unabebewa akili aje. So that's another notion that comes at you are being carried baby ama you are being unabebwa.
Unabebwa wana.
Unabebwa wana. So that is something else that you really fight with. Because I remember when I was the vice president of the MBO organization, they were like, how did she become the president? She just joined the organization the other day. We were very new in the organization. I believe I was a month old in the organization. And I managed to like beat 5 of the women, the other people that we are vying with in the position. And were like, how could she come in like in some few months and she's the deputy president? She did something to the CEO ama to the members of the electoral commission to become the deputy president. So all along, those are the challenges you get in politics. Balancing in the political life and your own life as well, and between the people you are serving and the people you are serving under.
Okay.
And also now the notion of maintaining the molarity, like that who you are.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much, Dorcas. Before we hand mic over to Grace, ulitumia kama budget ya how much? So that now I can get to budget. Because I realize it's a major election. Unajua, you have posters, like, you have...
Okay, unaona hiyo moja ya university, that one was a kind of school one. Hiyo, you see kuna ile chama mnashikanaga nayo. There is the kachama that chains yenye inaenda the coalition.
Oh, yes.
So kuna hiyo chain. So first of all, kuna ile pesa nyinyi as individuals mnachanganga.
Okay.
Then hiyo time nilikuwa nimeongana na MCA wa base mali nimetoka, pia kanichanua kidogo.
So you have to look for these connections,
yeah,
right?
So sometimes it's you to look for the connections, though pia from friends, they can changa for you a little bit.
Thank you.
From the friends, they can changa for you a little bit. Then pia uko mashinani, kama kuna kiongozi moja wawili mwenye you tell them what you are doing, they really come in strongly and they help you. So sometimes where the politicians, sometimes they come in depending with how mnajuana na wao.
Okay.
And the other one is ile mnachanga as an organization, ama you speak to friends and a few, and that's how they come in.
Okay, thank you so much. Because I was tempted to ask how you get this money to sponsor your elections. Lakini after you win, there are still people talking about how you got the money and you like it. Thank you. Thank you so much, Grace. You have something to add on that? We have 10 minutes. Thank you, timekeeper, because we can spend the whole day here. Thank you so much. I have this question for how do you think the system should be changed to give room and to give a better environment for leadership, and especially for these potential young women? Is there a gap, and how can we fill this gap, Grace? You've been there, and you totally understand what you went through. Is there something that can be done, either by the government, either in the institutions, to give a better platform?
Yes, of course. There's a lot to be done about supporting these women into leadership positions. And one is educating everyone that it is not a misplace, or it is not out of order to have women in leadership. And now that we want them to be in leadership,
Yes.
it doesn't mean we have no women who are already in leadership. So our urge is that these women who are already in leadership to mentor other girls. Like we who have been Madam Presidents in several universities, we've really tried to even do mentorships in high schools and primary schools, just to show that those girls that it is possible. Even as a woman, as a lady, as a girl, it is possible for you to raise through the ranks to the highest positions of power and do something and be expected and looked upon by other people to implement policies and also make policies. The gaps that we have right now are the institutions having so much to do with the leadership, and now one being, how do we get into power? Like you're saying, you had the block system ya kuchaguana one by one. We have now the current system, which is the delegate system, which I feel, having been a president, I feel it isn't the best. It is not the best system to work around leadership, and especially if we are encouraging that we should have leaders across the gender. The gender should not be a barrier of who is to be a leader. So the system first should be looked into, and we are in a democratic country, a democratic government,
Sure.
and that one should be allowed too in the universities and also institutions where we have young people. Because the first thing to ensure that we have leaders who are responsible is by allowing those people that is going to lead to choose their own leader. But now when you come to a delegate system, that's not really the case, because it is who. You know, who knows the ICM chair, who knows the delegates, who has a fat pocket, you know. And that one may leave some of us outside. I heard you ask her how much she used.
For her budget.
Yes, imagine
Ulitumia ngapi?
in my position, having not been a leader, and now I am an opponent of someone who was a leader, and he had, of course, cash from connections here and there, and here I am. But I am competent to be in that position.
Oh yes, oh yes.
Only that I do not have a pocket. But this other opponent have issues around leadership. He cannot do this. He has done this wrong and that.
Moral issues.
Yes.
But
But
he
the
has
pocket
money.
is fat.
Oh, yes.
You know? And here comes Grace. The only connections she has is the MCA. MCA sends you 10,000. And another person gives you 5,000. I come to Mr. Nick here. He gives
you
me
50.
50,000, you know? Here and there. But this person has been in the system. He knows who to give money to open an opportunity, who to give money to say no. You sleep today, you have the whole delegate system. Tomorrow you wake up, the delegates do not even
And
know
are,
you.
are these people sponsoring you? This in political positions already, the elected people or leaders, do they have their interest when they are funding you?
Of
And
course.
not necessarily personal interest, yeah?
Yes.
Could be leadership interest. Do they?
Yes, they do.
So you strike a deal.
Yes, they do. I wouldn't approach my MCA today and present to him an idea which I require help from him. He will look into that issue and ask himself, what is in for me? And as ladies, that's where it goes wrong for us, Kinaturamba, because if there is no political gain, or yes, political gain or social capital gain, then that's where the personal interest comes in.
Oh yes.
And if you don't give in to that, then the support is gone. And we appreciate that even if they support us for political gain, they also help us. They help us rise the ranks as much as we are going to give back something, maybe social capital, or when they say RIA, we tell the comrades RIA. Kituambia tuangalie left, tunaangalia left. That is okay. But now, as women, we find ourselves in a very delicate and fragile position, because the first thing, and especially when you are looking for help from men, I'm sorry, the men in the house, I'm not tarnishing your name, I'm just saying some those who are bad, we find ourselves in the position where they are like, hey, Grace is beautiful and I don't want the social capital, let's deal with personal interest. And that's where it goes wrong, because some of us who are ruthless may not fall into such. And if now I was competing with someone who can easily do it, they would defeat me, and we'll end up having an incompetent leader just because she found her way out, and the leader is there because she did not give in to whatever
Okay.
it was.
Thank you so much, Grace. Time is not on our side. But we'd want to have a few questions from the audience, please. This is your time. If you feel you have any question to either of them, because we have other people on the list that we will interview them here. So, kama uko na swali, uko hapa, inahusu leaders. A leader in the institution, whatever platform. Naona kama kuna mtu ako na swali hapa. So, who will help us with the mic? And thank you, those who are watching us from social media platforms. Karibuni sana, Nyarari TV, M-Cusa. Nyarari TV ni kule kwa YouTube, M-Cusa ni pale kwa Facebook. Thank you so much. So, yes, please.
Good afternoon. It's
Good-
lovely to hear from these lovely ladies, their journey and struggle with being a woman leader in this time and age. I do have a question that they haven't exactly touched on, which is, we've also seen that being a woman leader, you'll find either people pitting women against each other, or even you yourselves finding that you're fighting one another instead of working together. So in your time as women leaders, how have you experienced that and navigated that? That's my first question. My second question will be,
Yes, please.
outside of leadership now in public,
Sorry?
outside of leadership in public, the way they are saying that people tarnishing your name, bullying you in all forms, these are other people's children, cousins, sons, and all that. Now I'm not sure if you have chosen to have kids or not, or you have nieces and nephews and everything. Yeah. How are you also bringing it home, because it's a mindset issue as well in society that they are being taught that we can't accept, or it's, as you've said, it's unusual to have women in leadership positions. So how are you also navigating through that?
Okay, thank you so much. Do we have any other? Before I hand the mic back, we have so many. We have, yes. Okay. Takuwa mnajipanga with the one to answer.
Hi, thank you so much for this opportunity. So my question goes to both Grace and Madam.
Yes.
So there's this notion that, especially Grace, you're a young woman in leadership. So have you had this notion that you are a woman and you can only get a certain position, and people think that you can't deal with certain issues? Have you met such an issue, and how have you dealt with it? Yeah.
Thank you so much. I hope you have noted that one, Chris.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Actually, my question goes to everyone in this room,
Oh, yes.
and also from the interviewer and the interviewees. So, okay, we as women, we are told that we are each other's enemies. You find that if I try to vie for a position today, the people in my social media handles bullying me. Some of them are women. If there's a rumor, you know those rumors that come, oh, you need BBR VC, you need BBR, I don't want to say anyone's name because it's actually happening right now as the cabinet secretaries are being appointed and, nominated. It's happening right now.
Oh, yes.
And when I go to the social media platforms of those that are bullying some of the women nominees, it is women. Some of them are women.
Sure.
So because this meeting is about women,
Hapo hata tungehitaji kama kofi kidogo. Because whatever she's saying, it's very true.
because this meeting is about women, we as women, for how long are we going to bully each other? Really? For how long are we going to support bullying against one of us? If my good Faith here wants to be nominated for a yes, and she's climbed a ladder up, why are we bullying them as women? I think it's high time we go to those social media platforms and show them that they deserve it. If the men, their counterparts, have those, also have masters, by the way, but they're not getting appreciated. What people are saying is the fact that they are women. So that was my thought and my question. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's have the last one for now, because we are going to have others as we go on. So, yes, please.
My name is Irene, and I have two questions. One is we have fewer connections in Kenya. You, when you are in those institutions, whom did you hold hands? Because change is long term. Whom did you leave in those seats?
Wow.
Secondly, if given a chance in Kenya to hold a certain position in politics, which one would you go for?
Thank you. Oh, we have another one, yes? Okay, please. I hope you noting them.
Hello everyone,
Hello.
I'm Alice. I have a question, but it goes direct to Dorcas. She said that whether you get it right or wrong, and my question is, what if you got it in the wrong way? Do you care about your mental health? Because as much as we are doing everything, our mental health matters a lot.
Wow. Issue on mental health. Thank you so much. Yes, we can have them answered by, we start with Dorcas. So there was an issue with enemies being enemies to themselves.
Like women being enemies of other women.
Yes.
That is something that is evident, and it's not something that we can try to hide.
You encountered that
It's
yourself?
there, yes, it's there. And sometimes people want you, when you get into that position, they want you to kind of help them do something. But you see, sometimes it's not you not helping them. Sometimes unapatanga their systems. And so trying to navigate through the system requires sometimes some time to really understand what is working. Hata saa zingine unaonanga mtu wako akwambia, beshte yako akikwambia, when you get a job, enda unitafutie.
Unitafutie.
Saa zingine, something I realized, niliona, they think utaki kumtafutia. Of course, there are some, okay, people, one thing I would like us to understand, people are different. There are some people who are selfish, and that doesn't have to do with either you are a woman or not a woman. There are some people just generally selfish. Like when they really hold something, not necessarily leadership, they really want to be themselves and themselves. But I would like to say that most of the leaders that I have really encountered and interacted with, most of them, like for me, I would say I've been held hand. Someone has been holding my hand. So I wouldn't say that they are bad, but utapata just a few who are selfish. But others really would, they are happy to help you out. So one thing I would say is, some think you really not want to, like, kuwasaidia. So they turn against you. They think wewe uko tu hapo to help yourself, and yeah, so kitu kama hiyo inaleta shida.
Okay.
So unapata hapo mna nini kidogo. Then kuna ingine nataka kushikanisha, mention which one, like did you live where you
ulinua
were?
nani?
Yeah, so me I would say, when I was serving as the deputy president, nilihakikisha the incoming deputy president nilimshika mkono, nikamwonyesha systems. And I kept on following on her what she has been doing, the challenges amekuwa nazo as she's leading the students.
She went through, She qualified for the
Right now,
position.
yeah, she's there right now. And I keep on calling her from time to time, knowing what's happening in the leadership, what's like, what challenges is she facing. And I also say by then, because I was also doing a lot of mentorship in high schools and primary schools, I also held, I was a mental health advocate, and even now I am. So my mentorships was an assign on mental health. So I made sure I saw a certain girl who was very interested in mental health awareness, and I talked to her. Actually, she even confesses even today that I want to be a speaker like I saw Dorcas behave. And so when I realized she has that passion, I kept on encouraging her and telling her, you can be an advocate, you can create awareness, and also I've been following on her. Right now she has a mental health awareness channel that she's doing a lot of mental health awareness.
Okay.
And I would say she's doing very well.
Wow,
So
thank you.
I would say that at least I have something I can count on. So I can leave it to Grace,
Yes, please.
and she can tell us something as well.
Thank you so much. When you see Eston and Nick here, jua tu time imeenda. But at least you can touch on the limited positions. There was that question on limited. Like women are given certain positions.
Yes.
So let's touch on that one, Grace.
Yes, to add on her point about women being enemies of their own, Akando does not lose anything by lighting others. It doesn't completely. And there is something beautiful about holding someone's hand. And for me, it has been beautiful actually with an example of the president, Madam President, the current Madam President in Machakos University. She is my mentee. I actually shown her through the paths to becoming a vice president, and I was so proud of her. But do you know what? Surprisingly, she was one of those who were bullying me behind the Swedo's account when I was the vice president. But I ignored her completely. I never got
And you
into
knew
a
that?
Yes, I knew it. I never got into a conversation with her. She would just pass by, not say hi to me. I ignored. I even pretended I do not know her. But when it came to vying, I really held her hand, walked through her, and even when they were starting the government and she was settling in my office, I told her this is what to do, this is how to behave, this is how to handle yourself, and this is how to go through it. And I know it feels beautiful when you light someone's light. You don't lose anything, but you become an inspiration. And
And the last one?
the last question is which position we would go for if in leadership as a woman leader. I feel even the education ministry would do well with a woman. Yes, mothers, we are created to be mothers. We nurture children. We know we have that inbuilt care, and so I feel education will do well with a woman. So
Wow.
I hope that one is answered.
Yes, please. As we give final remarks,
For me,
please.
I would go for CS agriculture.
Oh, in future?
Yes,
Oh,
so
is that what you want to vie for in future? I mean, you
in
want that
future,
position, it's
yeah,
not vying for, to be appointed.
yeah,
Sorry.
I would love agriculture.
Agriculture?
Yes, because first of all, what we want agriculture as that. Agriculture is not that, agriculture is life. And I'd also want to walk a journey with women because women are the ones who are left in the villages to do agriculture. I'd love to walk with them, show them how good farming is done, how they can produce from the limited spaces they have in their homesteads. Personally, I'm an economist, an agricultural economist, an agronomist. I train groups of farmers. I train also students. And so I would hold that so strongly. And even right now, whether I am appointed or not,